This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I've been walking a lot, and I've seen Raine, a new British romantic comedy from director Raine Alan Miller. It follows the day-long conversation and antics of Dom and Yaz, two 20-somethings who meet at an art gallery and hit things off rather quickly, mostly because they are both still dealing with the aftermath of respective breakups. Their initial conversation turns into a true dialogue as they learn more about each other, their ideas of romance, and what exactly led to their breakups. But while helping each other get a bit of payback on each other's exes might seem like a good idea in the moment, it might end up being a bit too much, bringing more to the surface than intended. It's nothing too drastic, thankfully. It's more of a character thing. If it weren't apparent, the ongoing story matters very, very little in all of this. In a nutshell, the movie is just two people talking their way into falling in love with each other, and because of this, the writing, characters, and performances are pretty much going to be what carries the movie from start to finish. Thankfully, it pulls that off exceptionally well from just about every possible angle. For starters, the dialogue between Dom and Yaz is entirely realistic, moving with a natural and reactive flow from topic to topic, never bringing on a subject out of nowhere outside of scene transitions, and even then it'll present something that will spark that change. Despite the greater conversation not necessarily relying on where a scene takes place, there are still points where they bounce off each other, generally to help develop Dom and Yaz in some manner. The changes that they go through within the movie are entirely spurred by their dialogue, or perhaps the actions that result from their dialogue. I will say that in the long run, their time together may veer a bit into formula and familiarity, but their natural chemistry and the amount of fun that they have not only together but with each other, if that makes sense, definitely overcomes any of the drawbacks inherent to all of that. It's very much because of David Johnson and Vivian Oparah, who portray Dom and Yaz with a unique energy and presence, giving off a further sense of radiance that make them believable as people and worthy of your attention. In fact, every character in the movie has a distinct voice that fully separates them, making this a world which feels truly populated and alive. The world around the characters and the production design overall also brings the world to life in a more literal sense. Pretty much every scene incorporates some aspect of the random citizens walking the streets or around the towns and parks that Dom and Yaz visit. We see them going about their own lives in the background, and while they may serve more as window dressing, their presence is entirely welcomed, making each setting dynamic without distracting from the main story at play. Some background elements end up synchronizing with dialogue or character emotions, which is further emphasized by cinematography and the wide variety of framing choices and the greater color design. Coupled with the editing, this makes for a movie with a very smooth cinematic flow, cutting to new scenes without creating information gaps or wasting time, and even incorporating cutaway gags with a greater stylization that further ramps up the inherent energy of the characters. The scoring ties it all together, with synthesizers meshing in tune with ambient and orchestral music, giving the film's events a somewhat magical feeling that really brings out the romantic tone. Overall, this is an excellent movie, hearkening a bit to a classic sort of story setup while firmly setting itself in modern times, and ultimately showing how a familiar formula can be shaped into something that stands out on its own, as long as those working with it know how to bring out the best from what they've got. Something like that, at least. Ride Lane. Raine Allen Miller, 2023. 4.5 stars. I definitely recommend giving it a watch. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I could have compared this movie to Before Sunrise, but I thought against it, mostly because I haven't seen it in a few years. I have seen it though, just not while I've been here.